and we'll be starting in 2 minutes. Our next session is in collaboration with the Flag Foundation of India. Since independence, our brave soldiers have been laying down their lives with pride so that our tricolor may fly high with dignity. Remember the time when India wins cricket match and you wave the Indian flag with grace and passion? The Tiranga embodies our modern democratic, secular, and liberal values, which should be embraced by all Indians in their endeavor to build a strong and progressive India, which would take its rightful place in the world. I'd like to invite our esteemed guests for our next session, upholding the national flag. May I please call upon Mr. Naveen Jindal, Lieutenant General Kanwaljit Singh Dhillon, Suhas Elvai, and Vaibhav Purandare on stage, please. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. A proud Indian nationalist and advocate for women and children's rights, a philanthropist, a parliamentarian, a successful industrialist, and a sportsman, Mr. Naveen Jindal is the president of the Flag Foundation of India. For those who may not know, Mr. Naveen Jindal is the man who single-handedly is responsible for making the national flag more accessible to all Indian citizens. The Flag Foundation of India that he founded along with his wife is an effort to foster respect for the Tiranga and its values it embodies amongst the Indian youth. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Lieutenant General Kanwaljit Singh Dhillon, PVSM, UISM, YSM, and VSM, an alumnus to the National Defense Academy, is a 1983 commissioned infantry officer, Rajputana Rifles. He has served extensively in counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism operational areas of Kashmir and Northeast. During the most challenging environment of the Pulwama IED blast and the aberration of Article 370 and 35A, he commanded the Srinagar Base 15 Corps in Kashmir. He superannuated as Director General, Defense Intelligence Agency under the Chief of Defense Staff in January 2022. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Suhas Elvai is 2007 batch IAS officer who is currently District Magistrate of Gautam Budh Nagar. Previously ranked world's number 2 in men's single and silver medalist at the Tokyo Paralympics 2021 in badminton, Suhas is the first Indian civil servant to be awarded the Arjuna Award in 2021. Apart from his interest in sports, Suhas also developed a mobile app for differently abled voters during general elections. He is also the recipient of Yash Bharti and Lakshman Award as the highest civilian and sporting honors of Uttar Pradesh. A very warm welcome, sir. Thank you. Our moderator for the evening is Vaibhav Purandare. He is the author of Shivaji, India's Greatest Warrior King, published by Juggernaut Books. His other books are widely acclaimed Savarkar, the true story of the father of Hindutva, Hitler and India, the untold story of his hatred for the country and its people, Sachin Tendulkar, a definitive biography, and Bal Thackeray and the rise of Shiv Sena. He is currently the senior editor with Times of India. Very welcome, sir, and over to you.
Thank you, and a good afternoon to all of you. Could I start with Lieutenant General Dhillon? Since he's a soldier, and without soldiers guarding our borders, our national flag would be under tremendous threat, and they are the ones who protect us all the time. So, and I'm going to ask a very simple question to you, Lieutenant General Dhillon. You are a soldier. How do you look at the Indian national flag? What does the flag mean to you?
Thank you, sir. And thank you to all. Good evening to all my co-panelists. Good evening to all the viewers sitting out here. National flag for a soldier. When we join the academy and when we are commissioned, every army officer, every army Jawan takes an oath to protect this nation, and he will be able to go, or he will be willing to go anywhere by sea, land, or air. What does national flag mean to a soldier? Throughout my service career, 39 years of service, 4 years of training, I have stood guard for the national flag. Every soldier stands guard for protecting the honor and integrity of the nation, in turn the national flag. What great honor than standing under the national flag, trying to protect it the whole life, and on a given day come back home wrapped in the national flag. For a soldier, national flag means everything. His journey in the uniform starts with the national flag, and those who are specially chosen by Ma Bharati, they come back home in a national flag. Their names are written in the center of the capital at the National War Memorial for times to come. For national flag for a soldier is everything, and I think there's nothing beyond the national flag. To start with, this is how I look at the national flag. Thank you.
Naveen Jindal started the whole conversation on the national flag code. Before he did that, we would hardly ever discuss the code and changes that were necessary. What made you do that? And are you satisfied with the national flag code as it exists today, with all its changes?
Thank you, Vaibhav. Good evening, everyone. So it's a real pleasure to be here with all of you today. So this is a question that I'm asked always, that how did you think of it? Why did you do this? So this happened in 1990, more than 30 years.
Yeah.
So 33
I'm
years.
asking for the new generation who may not.
I know. So 33 years back, when I went to USA to study, I used to see Americans displaying their national flag all over. And that time, if you remember, General Saab, in 1990, Iraq had invaded Kuwait, and US forces had gone to that region. So everybody was displaying as a mark of support to their forces, Americans were displaying the national flag, their national flag. So I was 20 years old in 1990. I also wanted to display the American flag. But then I was like, wait a second. I said, I'm not American. What do I do? I said, maybe I should fly, because I felt out of place. Everybody displaying their flag, American flag, and I'm not displaying it. So I said, I will display the Indian flag. So now where do I get an Indian flag in America? I asked a few friends. I said, where can I get an Indian flag? They said, oh, you can get it from India. Then another guy said, oh, there's a flag in downtown Dallas. You'll be able to get it there. I said, okay. I said, when I get time, I'll go and, get it. So after 3-4 days, he gives me a packet. I said, what is it? He said, open it. I opened it. It was a very large Indian flag. So that was the first time in my life I ever got a chance to hold the Indian flag. In India, as a 20-year-old, I had never got a chance to hold a national flag. I had never touched it. So there in America, American gifting me an Indian flag, I was really happy. Now what do I do with that flag? So I was president of the student government in my university, University of Texas at Dallas. So I wanted to put it up on the wall. But then I thought that maybe these Americans will get upset. They'll think in an American university, and you are putting up an Indian flag. In India, we would have made a big deal out of it, right? So I asked people, I said, is it okay? They said, yeah, it's cool, no problem. I said, oh, okay, great. So I put it up in my office. So every time people would come, I would tell them about the colors, I would feel so happy. And after I came back to India in 1992, 26th January 93, 30 years back, you know, it's customary in 26th January, 15th August in factories, etc., to display the flag. Everybody does it. So we did it. So I was very happy. Next day I was going by, only the pole was there. The flag was gone. मैंने कहा झंडा क्यों हटा दिया? You know, because the pole alone does not look good. So they said we can only fly on 26th January and 15th August and not every day. So I was 22 years old then. So I was like, this is strange. In America, I could display the flag every day. In India, I can't even display my own flag every day. So I said, we'll do something about it. So I said, no, let's not remove it. Let's display in the most respectful manner. Let's do it every day. So we kept on doing it, at which the commissioner came after 1.5 years, commissioner and SP. They got the flag removed. I was in tears. I said, most of my friends stayed back in the US. I wanted to make India the country of my dreams. I wanted to come here, work here. If I can't even display my national flag, then what will I be able to do? So then that led to this 10-year-old struggle, 10-year-old legal battle, first in High Court, then in Supreme Court, and finally, on 23rd January 2004, the Supreme Court of India declared it as a fundamental right under freedom of speech and expression that we can display the greatest symbol of our country, our national flag, on all days. So this is really a historic step. And so now with this government now, after, you know, like this year, I mean last year, you know, while celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, you know, saying that Har Ghar Tiranga. So my slogan is Har Ghar Tiranga, Har Din Tiranga. So it's not something only 3 days that, you know, they said, oh, from this day, from 13th to 15th of August, you display the flag. I said, no. The flag, and why the flag? I feel this is the greatest symbol for what General Saab just said, that for a soldier, he lives and he dies for the national flag. So a soldier is supposed to protect the country. They do their bit. Okay, industrialist is supposed to produce wealth for the country. They do that. A teacher is supposed to teach. A journalist is supposed to write. So I feel flag is just a symbol. It's a symbol of our country. It is only symbolic that we display the national flag, but most importantly, we live by the ideals of the flag, and ideals of the flag are nothing different than ideals of the country. Suhas is a IAS officer. He's a brilliant IAS officer. He does his job well. I do my job well. All of you do your jobs well. You know, just drawing inspiration from the national flag as a symbolic gesture, we display the flag, and then we do our own jobs well. Whether you are a soldier, or you are a businessman, or you are a teacher, or you are an officer, or you're in the police, then who can stop us from being the greatest country in the world? That's all. That's my message, and that's what we've been trying to promote. Thank you.
Thanks. You know, Suhas, since you've said that I should refer to you as Suhas only.
Yes.
You're a champion, and you've done the flag proud, you know, in your sport. Naveen Jindal just said that the flag is a symbol. How do you look at this symbol as a sports person? You know, Lieutenant General Dhillon has his own perspective as a soldier, but you are a sports person. For it, you know, you're looking at the symbol, you are representing the country. How do you look at it, and how do you approach it, basically?
Firstly,
what does it mean to you?
Yeah, thanks, Vaibhav, and thanks for having me amidst this illustrious panel. Let me talk about the functional aspects of the national flag. Like Dhillon Sahab and Naveenji said, flag gives meaning to our actions. If I talk about myself, I started going to international tournaments in 2016. First tournament was in Beijing. Till date, I have this superstition that when I pack my clothing and badminton kitting, I keep my Indian flag in the bag. So when I went to Beijing, I went as unseeded player. And in China, in November, I still remember, it's 29th November, final day, after being an unseeded player, and to see the national flag go up, it was on my chest, wearing in my heart. So I felt so proud. There have been hardly any moment in my life where I have felt such pride and happiness. So that, I'll tell you, see, we play so many tournaments. You would have seen so many tournaments on TV. What differentiates, say, a person X winning a gold medal in one tournament and a person why winning a medal in Olympics or Paralympics. What is the difference? The difference is here he is playing for his country. From being a sports person, to win in any international tournament, you need three things: fitness, skill, and the third one is emotional quotient. How do you channelize your nervous energy for your benefit? That is where I think in individual games, when I wear my flag on my chest, it gives me a sense of pride. आप देखिएगा कि दुनिया में इतिहास उन्होंने ये सृजन किया है कि those who are little crazy, finally you have to put that extra. You know that every person who is there at international forum, who is playing for his country, he is willing to give up his life for his, just like soldiers do on their battlefield. We as sports person, we are also willing to give up everything. So for being that crazy, you need a symbol wherein you can associate yourself with, you can, जान लगा देंगे परंतु वहाँ से हार के नहीं आएंगे. Finally, हार जीत तो अपने हाथ में नहीं है. I think flag gives meaning and flag helps. ये practical चीज़ है. ये हमें help करता है कि अगर 100% दे रहे 1-8% और extra दे दो. So that is what flag has always meant to me. And just to add to what Naveen ji said, last year जब government ने हर घर तिरंगा शुरू किया था, so it was Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we are still celebrating. We were all also, I work in Noida as district collector. One of the challenges that we felt was how do we ensure that every house hoists a flag. To our surprise, I think the younger generation has taken this up. Much of the credit does go to Flag Foundation of India and Naveen ji and all the civil society members who have taken this forward. आज की तारीख में socialism में एक new surge of nationalism है and new surge of association of pride with the flag. Today I was driving from Noida to Delhi. Along the way, आप अगर जाते हैं तो आप देखिएगा, you can see lots of national flag flying around on the way. And also the rules regarding the national flags are ever evolving. Recently government changed the rule wherein now you can hoist the flag in the night also. Just like we as society evolve, I think the rules are also evolving, and flag gives meaning to all of us.
You just wanted to add something.
Yes.
So these rules were changed in 2011. I had got these rules changed in 2011 that you can fly the flag day and night. So that's why the Flag Code of India used to read that the display of flag shall be unrestricted on all days. I mean, it basically said that flag should be flown from sunrise, preferably sunrise to sunset, which is customary all over the world. But if you did not take it down in the night, neither would that be considered an insult to the national flag, nor you'll be infringing any rule of the law. So another thing, you said like you could not wear, as per the act, you could not wear the national flag on your clothes. So I remember one time I'm a sports person also, I'd gone to Brazil for a world championship in shooting. I was part of the Indian shooting team. And on my cap, there was Beretta written. The Beretta is a gun maker. So when they check your equipment, they check your this thing. So he put a black tape on that. He said, no, you cannot put this. You can put your country's flag, but you cannot have a company's name on your cap or on your jacket, because there are people who sponsor the tournament, so they don't want anybody other than the companies sponsoring the tournament to put their names. And I felt so bad. I said I didn't want to tell him, the guy who taking, we are not allowed. We are not allowed to put up our country's flag on our jacket or on our cap. So then I took it up as a parliamentarian. We took it up in the Home Committee. Then it was recommended by the Home Committee. And then both the houses of the Parliament passed it unanimously. And that's how the rule was changed. If you remember, even Sachin Tendulkar was stopped from wearing the national flag on his helmet. And that was as per the act, because Flag Code of India, these are only executive instructions. They are just government instructions, so they are not part of the act. But the act said that displaying the flag on your clothes, etc., would be insulting to the flag. So now that's changed also. So we can display the flag on our T-shirts, basically above the waist, on our T-shirts, jackets, caps, etc. Small things. Thank you.
this is important information because not many are aware of this information even till date, unfortunately. And we'll discuss that part, but I want to ask one question to you, Suhas, that what happens? You keep your flag, in the bag, and then during the tournament, how do you go about it? Do you take it out, keep it in your practice room, or
See,
how
what
do you?
happens
Please
is,
tell people how do you.
as I said, starting from 2016, it has become a superstition that I carry, I fold, and I keep it in my suitcase. And every day when I go from hotel to the badminton hall, I carry this as a tradition. In fact, personally, I carry flag and Hanumanji's photo because a lot of courage is needed. You don't know whether you're going to win and lose because in sports, it is like I have lost by millimeters and I've won by millimeters. I know all that you can do is put efforts. So essentially, on the final day, you can take out the flag if you have won the match. Otherwise, probably the flag is still folded and it comes back and you go and try next time.
Right.
But then that emotion that, that is there with you. And एक practical चीज़ और बताता हूँ. When we go abroad in some of the countries, yes, there will be lots of Indian audiences. They will again put their flag and we can see. And in some of the places, in some of the countries, because badminton is played worldwide, you don't have literally Indian audiences. All that you have is your team members and the flag to fall upon. So this gives you that psychological confidence. और एक और चीज़ है, India is a huge country. From Kerala to north, east, west. So everyone is coming from diverse background. When you go abroad to play for the country in team games, you represent this tricolor. You don't represent, you should forget where you come from. And, when you go abroad and play, all that they know is you play for India. They don't know whether you are from Karnataka or Kashmir or Gujarat or, So they represent, इसलिए जब भी tournaments में कोई भी sports में देखिएगा, any tournament, they will say name and flag. Even many places, country name is not written. Name and flag. So that is what it is for us. It's everything.
Nice. Lieutenant General Dhillon, if I were to come back to you, you had several stints in the toughest part of the country, if I may call it the toughest part, for the last 2-3 decades, that is Jammu and Kashmir. And that is a place where the flag has been under the greatest threat, in a way. What were the challenges that you faced there? I belong to the Roja generation. We saw the movie, got goosebumps, looking at that flag scene. And we realized that that was where the biggest challenge for the flag lay, because it is easy to demonstrate disrespect towards such a symbol if somebody wants to deliberately do such an act. So what were the challenges that somebody like you faced in this regard, and how did you counter those challenges?
Thank you. Just for the benefit of the audience, I served 7 tenures in Kashmir. The first tenure being as a young captain in September 1988 to middle of 90. I've seen the, you can say, beginning of terrorism. I've seen the infamous date of 19th January 1990 when Kashmiri Pandits exodus took place. I served in various ranks, major, lieutenant colonel, CO, brigade commander, again a brigadier, then finally as a corps commander. I was a corps commander when Pulwama happened, as was brought out in the bio. I was a corps commander when Balakot happened. I was a corps commander when the abrogation of Article 370 happened. Most of you would know, in that part of the country, without going into the political space, that part of the country, every time India-Pakistan match happened, and if Pakistan won the match, there will be firecrackers. There used to be firecrackers. There used to be Pakistani flags coming up on various buildings. And most of you also would be aware that there were 2 flags in Jammu and Kashmir, the J&K flag and the national flag. And the national flag would only fly on one odd government building and nothing, nowhere else. It is the army posts. After the terrorism started, a lot of army pickets, Rashtriya Rifle pickets came up in the hinterland in the valley. And we as an army decided that nation's writ, nation's symbolism must be visible and visible tall. Like Mr. Naveen Jindal, the Flag Foundation, the size of the flag. I was in Spain, in Madrid for a course. I saw probably the highest flag I saw in Madrid. And that is when, after a few days, I realized we have it in India also. So every picket, every post in Kashmir of Rashtriya Rifles proudly flies the national flag. In Badami Bagh 15 Corps headquarters, the highest post immediately behind it, which overlooks the Dal Lake, and it is slightly higher than even the Shankaracharya Temple Hill. We have the highest flag flying on that hill. This is visible from whole of Srinagar. There are a lot of flags. In fact, some flags have also been courtesy Mr. Naveen Jindal's foundation, which are flying in Kashmir. And coming to the point of flag in Kashmir, it was difficult times those times. 5th of August 2019, when the abrogation of 370 happened, I was the corps commander. I written a book in which I have devoted 3 chapters on this thing, how it happened. After that, slowly and slowly, the flag is flying on practically each and every government building. It's flying on many houses. It is flying at Lal Chowk. Various political leaders go and fly the flags at place wherever they want to. So Kashmir has actually got integrated because these are the national symbols which tell you, like Mr. Swas was saying, in the Olympics honor board, they will only write Mr. So-and-so Suhas, and they will put the symbol of Indian flag. That would mean he is from India. So flag means a lot to you. And I would like to bring in another point. Probably Mr. Jindal will take it forward with his type of initiative he has. There was a generation which saw the freedom struggle. That generation is still with us. Some of them are still with us. Some of them are there. Some of them are not there, unfortunately. They saw people dying, keeping the national flag straight. Soldiers, there is a very famous painting, or it's actually 25 Infantry Division, which is the Jammu region. There are 4 soldiers trying to keep the flag straight on the battlefront. Whenever we capture enemy picket, the first thing which is done is we fly the national tricolor to declare this is now part of India. So coming back to the point of independence struggle, the freedom struggle, the generation is gone now because they've seen the national people dying for the national flag. They had that feeling for the national flag. The today's generation, the younger generation, they respect symbolisms, but they do not have that type of feeling कि जान दे दूंगा, मर जाऊंगा, कट जाऊंगा. So we need to educate the younger generation. Maybe we can look at having some syllabuses modified. We can have some apps which are there, or there are enough methods to do it. But there is a very, very dire need to educate the younger generation about the sanctity, the honor of the flag. As a soldier, I can tell you, we die for the honor. We die for honor code. What to say of honor of a nation? We die for honor code. Jaban pe marte hain. So I think we need to look at this. But in Kashmir today, I'm happy to tell you, the national flag flies at practically every building and flies with great pride. And this has come about by the sacrifice of so many soldiers, so many local Kashmiris, and amongst all other things, the will to keep the national flag always at premium. Thank you.
Mr. Jindal, if I may ask you again, that there needs to be far greater awareness of the flag code, as Lieutenant General Dhillon too pointed out. And he spoke about it being part of the syllabus. Can education about the flag and the flag code and the rules and the constant evolution of these rules, which you pointed out, you know, that we can fly it at night as well, we can wear it on our clothes, etc., etc. The constant evolution that has happened largely due to your efforts. Do we need to integrate it into our education system, make it part of the syllabus, and how do we do that? Is it possible to do that?
I think it's possible to do it, and it must be done, because this basic information or knowledge about the national symbols, about your country, etc., I mean, children must be taught. So obviously schools, so we have from Flag Foundation of India, we've written to the Home Ministry also that there should be a chapter on the national flag, its history and its various, you know, all the flag code, etc., that you're talking about. So just now, Weber, just when I was entering, a lady, who was it? She was asking me questions. She was asking me that, oh, you must, the national flag is being misused. A lot of people are misusing the national flag. So, everywhere when I see a national flag, I automatically, I can spot national flags, okay? I somehow never see it. I never see a national flag being misused. So when somebody says that to me, a national flag being misused, so it's like saying that, oh, people are misusing idols, idols of deities at their homes, or people are misusing Gita or Bible or, whatever. So I don't see it happening. If you see it happening, fix it. Suppose if I'll see somebody has dropped a national flag or somebody is displaying a torn flag or something, I will ask them. Sometimes these things happen.
Yeah.
So what I would urge you and everyone else is to look at the brighter side of life. Don't you feel so happy? Everybody, so many flags now, that dream that I saw more than 30 years ago, that dream has come true.
Yeah.
That more and more people are displaying the flag. It's become fashionable to display the flag. So we got these lapel pins for all of you. I hope you all get it, because this is the best gift I ever got. So it's just a symbolic gesture. Just by displaying the flag, you don't become a patriot. You're not done something great for you. It's just a small first step. So the kind of sacrifices General Sahib spoke about, they are supreme sacrifices, dying for your country, and we are all ever grateful to each and every Indian soldier who are ready to lay down their lives so that we can live in peace, we can live freely. So General Sahib, we are really grateful to all our people in the uniform, whether it's police, military, paramilitary forces, all the time who are ready to serve the country. So this is a symbolic gesture. So yes, to come back to your question, of course, so kids, everybody in the schools, they must be taught about this so that they know. And we should keep it simple. And rather than finding, sometimes mistakes do happen. Sometimes people fly the flag upside down. If suppose a genuine mistake, we should not make a big deal out of it. A lot of people like to
First
make
file
a
a
big deal
police
out
complaint.
of it.
Yeah.
Or somebody drops it. Okay, we drop it, you pick it up. And when you fly display the flag upside down, actually it is a signal of distress. If somebody does it on a house or a boat or something, it is a signal of distress that something is wrong. So they need help. But a lot of time people do it by mistake also, because sometimes people make that mistake or somebody. So we should, rather than making a big deal out of it, we should just encourage people to display the flag, but most importantly, play your own role well, keeping the national interest in mind. If we are all good citizens, do our own job well, we can be a great country and people can be prosperous and proud.
Right. Suhas, when you go abroad for international events, how do you see the Indian diaspora reacting to the flag, to Indian sportspersons and to the flag in particular? And do they have any role to play in further popularization of the flag? And so that we have the kind of international best practices that Naveen Jindal was referring to very early during this discussion, when he said that in the US, they were all right with him putting up the Indian flag, and they would put it all over the place. So how do you see the diaspora reacting, and what is positive about it and what's good about it?
Before coming to the diaspora question, I'd like to add one point to what Naveenji and Dhilan Saab said regarding how do we educate.
Yeah.
Like when we had last year Har Ghar Tiranga, the first half of the job was done when every household hoisted the flag, and August 15th got over. Then one of the biggest challenges, many queries that we got in administration was, now the flags are becoming old. Now the flags are in almost 1 million flags in our city. So now what do you do with that? So many people were actually concerned, ki how do we dispose the flag? Then we ran a IEC campaign, Information, Education and Communication campaign, telling them as to how the methodologies, how we can dispose it. So that actually shows, I agree with Naveenji, that actually shows people are concerned with respect to how they are treating the flag. Coming to the diaspora question, yes, whenever we meet people abroad, they come to watch our matches, when we meet them, तो ज़िंदगी में ना जो चीज़ हमें मिल जाती है उसकी कीमत शायद हम महसूस नहीं करते हैं, जो चीज़ हमारे पास नहीं होती है, what you don't have in life, that you always want to get. Whenever we go abroad, this emotional attachment that they have toward the symbols of this country, so it is, it is probably more than what we have, because probably we take it because it's like, we internalize it. So for them, it gives them sense of belongingness. So they are extremely happy, and all the time when we have Indian pavilion, जब रहता है, जहाँ भी audience आते हैं तो फ्लैग के बगल में बैठते हैं, फ्लैग के बगल में फोटो खिंचवाते हैं. दे आर as proud as anyone else. So I think इंडिया की डायस्पोरा भी probably it is spread across the world. There is hardly any country where Indians are not there. Increasingly, because of social media, पहले इतने नहीं था, but I think social media has also played a huge role in probably now what I see is flag and all the symbols of New India that Navinji was talking are now symbols of confidence. So that is what is being exuded, whether it is national flag, national game, national song, whatever. So the symbols of nationalisms are much more visible in the world forum now.
May I just add something? Just on a personal note, talking about diaspora and Indians abroad, our son went abroad for studies, and he's a very passionate games lover. He himself is a sportsman, and he has a national flag which he very respectfully displays in his room, and then whenever he goes to see a match, he carries that flag. So when he's going abroad, he told me, Papa, I want to carry the flag with me. So I made him read the flag code. I said, when you're going out there, please don't look at those people. They have their flags even on their shorts and their socks. I said, please don't get influenced by that and don't do that. So please read the flag code of India, how our national flag has to be respected on the Indian soil and abroad. So I thought this one penny is worth, I'll just put it.
Thank you. So that is that's an international practice that he mentioned, which is not an international best practice, basically. Okay. So, Dhilan sir, I'd like to ask you about the book you have written as well, which is about your several stints in Jammu and Kashmir and upholding the flag in Kashmir. Because like you said, you've seen the worst phases from 88 onwards, 1990, possibly the worst phase, and now the abrogation of Article 370 and a new era.
Thank you, Abba.
So what does it talk about, this new book? Yeah.
Okay, now that you are tapping it, I must show it. This is the book. The book's title is Kitne Ghazi Aaye, Kitne Ghazi Gaye. Some of you may be knowing this phrase because this happened in the press conference, which I was conducting after the Pulwama incident, when within 100 hours, we had eliminated the module which had carried out the Pulwama ID blast. And the commander of that module was a Pakistani terrorist. His original name was, or real name was Kamran, and his code word was Ghazi. And Ghazi is a very preferred code word for all the Pakistani terrorists who operate in Kashmir. So since I had number of tenures before that, a lot of Pakistani terrorists who were eliminated during my earlier stints also had Ghazi as a code name. And media was abuzz after the Pulwama incident that Ghazi is the main commander who carried out the Pulwama ID blast. So when we eliminated them within 100 hours, and there was a press conference, the journalist asked me, sir, is Ghazi dead? No, I didn't want to give much credence to that terrorist. So I made straightway a simple phrase. I said, Kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye, parwah nahi hai, we are there, don't worry. So this phrase, this statement went viral. This was picked up by the young officers. They started writing this slogan on their company posts in the hinterland. And when I retired, basic aim was to write a book on what a young man or a young girl is expecting when they are very nationalistic, as the subject of discussion today. They want to join the defense forces, they want to join the army. The girl wants to marry an army officer. So what does she expect? Because army is a very closed door type of an organization. We stay in cantonments, the entries and exits are very restricted. So thanks to social media, a lot is coming out. Otherwise, people did not have an idea, so I started writing this book with that aim. from a 3-year-old child, if I risen to become a lieutenant general, that does not mean I have not failed in the class. I written there, I failed. That does not mean I did not carry a person faking as my guardian to the principal. I have done that. That does not mean that I failed and I tried again, I succeeded, I failed once again. So if failure is the most important aspect of success in life, if you do not fail, you will not be able to sustain the success. Because आपको मालूम नहीं है वो नुक्ते कि failure को कैसे handle करना है. So I started with that aim. Then how a girl who marries, my wife is from a civil background, I am from a civilian background. When she married an army officer, we both got married, we went to Udaipur, and that very evening I went to the border. And I came back after 2 months. The brass tacks, some of you might know, 1987. So she stayed alone in that cantonment, in a new place, new people, for 2 months, a young girl of 21, 22 years of age. And when I came back, she was well embedded in that family, unit, Paltan. So I wrote all those things. I was not there when my 2 children were born. I was not there when the 2 children went to the school. I was not there when they graduated from school or when they came out of school. I was not there when they went to the college. I was not there when they went to the professional colleges. Because my wife handled the whole thing, I was always most of the time in Kashmir or some other field areas. So army officers' wives are the strongest women on this planet. So aim was to write these things. So when I started writing, then a lot of people said, you have so much to contribute from Kashmir's point of view, so please include Kashmir. So I included Kashmir, Kashmiri people, their culture, their shrines, their Rahna Sehna, their art craft, their cuisines, the beauty of Kashmir, the beauty of Kashmiri people. Then went on to Article 370, Article 35A, the Pulwama, Balakot, the abrogation of Article 370, and how things happen. So this book is on pre-orders. It's launching on 14th of February as a tribute to the Pulwama Bravehearts. Because it's the 4th anniversary of Pulwama ID blast. This book is being launched without any mega event, without any party. I will just lay a wreath on the memorial in the memory of those 40 Bravehearts. And the book is on pre-orders for last 3 months. It opened as a bestseller. It is still a bestseller. Even during the pre-orders, it has gone into the 3 reprint runs. And on 14th, when it launches, if you are inclined to know the life of a soldier, life of a young boy who joins the army, life of a young girl who joins as an army wife, what are the sacrifices you have to make, and the subject of discussion today, how this feeling comes into you. I must take 30 more seconds. I am in great love for educating the youngsters, motivating them. They should not follow the wrong models. They should not follow the wrong idols. They are a very impressionable age. I was giving a talk in Gujarat University. A young girl got up and asked me, sir, army के job में challenges क्या हैं? So my response was, I said, beta, army job नहीं है, army मोहब्बत है. आर्मी जॉब नहीं है, आर्मी मोहब्बत है, और मोहब्बत में चैलेंज नहीं होते, मोहब्बत में अफसाने होते हैं. So I explained, those afsanas, those anecdotes are there in the book. So I leave it at that. And coming back to what we are discussing, flag is the most.
Sir, ये book तो movie जरूर बनेगी, इतनी सुंदर कहानी है.
By the way, Mr. Anupam Kher interviewed me in one of those functions, and he asked me, we'll make a movie. The 7 to 8 producers were all in touch. So, and my one point as a sincere soldier, sincere soldier, straightforward person, I said, "Bhai, pehle kitab padh to le." They were trying to buy the rights from me even before the book is launched. So I was a little more decent with them. I said, "Pehle bhai padh le, fir baat karna." And anyway, we are very bad negotiators as soldiers. So, thank you.
साहब मैडम यहीं पर हैं? मैडम आई हैं?
No, she is not there.
अच्छा, ओके. आप इतना बोल रहे थे उनके बारे में, मैंने कहा कहीं यहीं बैठी हो. हाँ?
Even today she is looking after the children. And I must say, those of you who known for G wives, most of you would feel, oh, what smart lady, what glamorous girl, how well she conducts herself, how well she dresses herself, how well she is, mannerisms and other things. कभी उनसे बैठ के ना बात करना देश के बारे में. They will tell you what happened. Like I told you, my wife saw the death news of mine twice on the television. What? She saw my death news twice. Once when she was 8 months pregnant. And it was not that case she wanted to, console herself. She was staying with her parents. Her biggest concern was my aging parents should not feel the shocks immediately. Early morning she got up. She hid the newspaper. Those days were newspaper days. She hid the newspaper so that her parents can't see that news, and news was carried in the local newspaper. It was a mistaken identity. Again, when I was commanding officer, she was staying in the rear location. Again, the news came, same name, same place. And that time, I also came to know that this news has spread. I tried to call her up. The STD phones were not working. Those days, mobiles were not there. Then I called up one by one 4 of my friends on the army line. I said, please go to the nearest STD booth. Please call up my wife and tell her everything is okay. They all told me, no, अभी रात को बहुत late हो गया, morning में बात करेंगे. So, but after some time, all 4 of them decided they must give a call. And she had seen the news on the TV, and everyone, 2 of them didn't even know her. Now calling up the lady at 2 in the night and saying, don't worry, sab theek hai, he's okay. That further consolidated a belief that he is no more. She had 2 children. The point I'm making, she was a CO's wife, commanding officer's wife, and that's an institution. There are other ladies, Jawans and officers' wives in the same station, whose husbands were there with me in Kashmir. She at night had 2 young children with her, and she was worried about their future. But before the first light, before the daybreak, she had got her composer back. She did not, and she knew these young girls will come to console her in the morning. She did not want to be seen as a shattered lady being a CO's wife. She said, as a CO's wife, I must show my bold face, because otherwise they will feel कि उनके husband वहाँ पे हैं, उनके साथ भी ये हो सकता है. So I must show my stronger self. That is an army officer's wife. So that's why I always say they are the most strong women on this planet. Every woman is very strong, but they have that little bit more. Thank you.
I want to ask both Naveen Jindal and Suhas a common question. Naveen Jindal, you have been talking about not just Har Ghar Tiranga on certain days, but Har Din Tiranga. Why do you feel is that desirable, number one, and how is it achievable? What are you going to do in order to propagate this, popularize this idea, and convince people to do this? And the government, of course.
Okay, so just through persuasion. It has to be absolutely voluntary. And why display the national flag? Why display it on your clothes or your wristband or on your house? Not even on top of your house. You can do it inside your house. And if you do display the flag like a painting inside the house or on your table, it lasts forever. Nothing happens to it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Nothing happens to it. So why do it? Because I learned, when I was doing my MBA, I learned, when you do a small act of patriotism or a small act for anything, just imagine, as a leader from a political party, say I ask, okay, Vaibhavji, please support our party. Please vote. I say, no, I don't want to believe. I said, okay, just display my flag. Okay? I said, you will not come and campaign for me, but you just please display my party's flag. So just by displaying the party's flag, it will have an impact on others. That it will show, and you'll show, and after you start to display the flag on your house of my party, then you will not say anything wrong about my party. So it's a small act that you have done for my political party. So I'm saying don't do for the, I'm saying do a small act for your country by just displaying the greatest symbol of the country on your house or in your clothes or in your car or anywhere. If you want to, like I said, it's only a symbolic gesture. If you don't do it, it's perfectly fine. If you do it, it's also fine. So it has to be completely voluntary, because when we do something, automatically our feelings change for the country. If I display the national flag, then I can't speak about casteism, I cannot speak about corruption, I can't speak about wrong things. Or I can't talk about small things. When a person displays the national flag, one rises above one's religious affiliations, one's political affiliations, caste, region, etc., and you just show that you are a proud Indian. So it's a very simple thing for me, that display the national flag, draw inspiration from it, because the flag will always inspire us. Flag will always, always urge us to ask ourselves that what have we done for our country. So if everybody, like a soldier does his job, soldier's wife do their job, we do our job, together we can make India the country of our dreams.
I'm asking you in the context of two things. One is as a sports person, because you can convince youngsters, you have an appeal among youngsters. And number two, you are also in the administration. And I like the fact that Naveen Jindal, is focusing on the positive thrust of the campaign, and not just, because there are people who misuse the laws, who first go and file a police complaint when a flag is hoisted upside down, perhaps by mistake. So a positive thrust to a campaign, even as an administrator, how would you look at it as a sports person, as an administrator? How do we convince people about this Har Ghar Har Din Tiranga?
We all know about CSR, corporate social responsibility. The other way to look at it is ISR, individual social responsibility. We, as you know, the famous quote, ask not what the country has done for you, what have you done for the country. That's a famous quote, you know that. We as individuals, would it not be better for us if the society internalizes the value that our Tiranga represents? Because all of us, when we studied in school, we have learned one thing for sure. The three colors, what do they stand for? Courage, peace, prosperity. This every primary school kid will tell it. After this, whether they have learnt or not, but this almost it's like primary school syllabus curriculum. Would it not be a better thing, as Naveenji said, if we internalize these value? Our tricolor stands for these values and for patriotism and for confidence. In our generation and for the next generations to come, would we not want a society which internalizes these positive values? Definitely, yes. And as a sports person, I would tell, as I said, fitness, skill. But the third and most probably the X factor, which differentiates winners and losers at the elite level, is how do you manage your emotions? For that, it's functionally essential to have such symbols which can act as a catalyst at places wherein you can actually improve your performance. So I would say at societal level and at individual level, if we internalize these values, it will only benefit everyone.
Lovely. Do we have 5 minutes for questions? Do we have? Yeah, sir, please. My request to all those who ask questions
Vaibhavji,
is...
just before that, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah.
That, one time it was a very, I went to some school in South, and there was this teacher who came up to me, said, "Oh, Mr. Jindal, I really admire the way you fought for the..." This was around maybe 15 years back. He said, "Oh, I really admire the way you fought for the national flag, and this, that." I said, "Thank you, But she said, "But, it really shows your narrow mentality." So I was suddenly taken aback. I said, "What did she said?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "It really shows your narrow mentality, because this is the very flag which differentiates us between India and Pakistan, India and USA, India and Bangladesh." So, so I thought about it. I said, "Yes." I said, "Madam, you have a point." I said, "I agree that maybe one day comes, maybe, I don't know, with 100 years or 1,000 years, that one world, one citizen. Why? We don't need a flag then. If you're all, they should be borderless. Why should there be a border between India and Pakistan, India and Bangladesh or Nepal, whatever? There should be one world, one people." I said, "But we have to evolve to that. So, but till then, we need a rallying point. There is no one leader, there is no one religion, there is no one anything that, that we can all believe in. But we all believe that we are all Indians. We all belong to this land. And this is symbolic of that. So this flag, as a symbolic gesture, has to bring us all together as one people. So first, and that's also not, I wouldn't say it is achieved already. We have to achieve that further, that we people actually forget which religion, which region, what caste, etc. And we all together work in a spirit of cooperative endeavor and support each other to make this country great. So our kids can have a better future, and everybody can be prosperous and proud. I said, till then, we do need the flag. So it's not like when we talk about the flag, I also do realize that one day a flagless society would be better, but we have to evolve to that. And I don't know how much time will that take. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so sir, if you could ask, my request to all those who ask questions is please make it specific. And if you're asking it to a particular individual, please name that person.
Sir, I remember Tirupur Kumaran, he died holding our national flag. When I was a kid, this was told. So this, whatever you people are telling today, I am very, very proud to hear that you have fulfilled the aim of the child who died holding our national one during British times. His name is Tirupur Kumaran. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sir. A question, please.
Jain sir, I'm from the service background only from the Indian Coast Guard. I'm proud of you for having brought this thing. Well, I would add a few more words to it as the topic also goes, one word and many words. Instead of upholding the national flag, why not the topic be upholding the patriotism, the true patriotism through the national flag? That would have been the right topic, and all of us to contribute much more and much more. And there was a respect, and that's why this is a dignified flag. It is unified with a discipline. And discipline is not there, the flag will be fluttering like a kite. And it is tied up, the word called discipline, the national flag, in the string. So that's how this 4G families, we are all going there.
The answer to that question is, why is the title like this? The title is like this because the flag itself is a symbol of patriotism. The flag is synonymous with the word patriotism. That is why instead of the word patriotism, there is the word flag in the title.
It's slowly evolving now.
Sir, yeah.
So it's slowly evolving, let it evolve, and much more contribution with committed.
Yes. We are agreed on that, sir.
Check.
Anybody else has a question? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Actually looking at the attitude of today's children and the way they are, the kind of learning processes have changed. Probably we have to think about much more innovative ways about how to make them feel emotionally attached and more and more respectful and knowledgeable about the national flag. Maybe the probable ways could be that in addition to whatever was being mentioned, that included in their academic session. In addition to that make some interesting videos depicting like documentaries rather, short documentaries where like highlighting all the contributions that have gone into bringing the flag up, and also play these kind of videos in the schools, and also all OTTs and the other medias. That could be the easiest way to spread this among the younger generation and the school-going kids.
So, madam, I agree with you. That's a good suggestion. And I think a lot of it is already happening also. But we also have to realize that today's kids, they're very smart. Okay, they know much more about, things happening all over the world than what we knew when we were their age, correct? So today's kids, they're more of global citizens. So, they don't have such strong feelings, etc. And today's kids, because they have not seen those harsh times also, and there's no need also. So today's kids have to do what is right for them. We are doing what is right for us. And I'm sure that today's kids will... Now, see, you express your views, I'm expressing my views. Because I'm also, we're also parents to 2 children. So today's kids, I think they are much more of global citizens. They feel comfortable in India, they love Pakistanis also, they love Americans also, they love British also. So, they are very international citizens of this world. and they have more of a broader vision than what we do. And I think we should embrace that and welcome that.
Okay, one final question. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. One. We are running out of time. Just one final question, please.
Hello, sir. A very good evening to you all. Sometimes what I feel currently that is happening is that by enforcing something good in a wrong manner, it turns to a negative thing, like a negative feeling. All of us are very patriotic, and sometimes when people say that you have to follow this in a certain way, it turns negative. So as somebody who's in the government right now, and you are making policies and taking actions to it. What do you think are the necessary steps to make people feel that it's a choice and you will do it because you will feel it and not because you're enforced to it? So that's
So
my
I
question.
completely agree with you. That's why I repeated many times. It has to be voluntary, and people, you don't have to teach somebody patriotism or love for their flag. It is inborn. It is automatic. So, and I think we all have it. So it's just what we have, we are just sharing all that. So I completely agree with you. There is no need, and there is nobody, because yeah, and kids are rebels. Not kids, everybody is a rebel. If you force somebody, they don't want to do it. So it's just, we can encourage people to do it. And so see, it's like something, what I want is people to taste the pleasure of displaying the national flag. So say we have a lapel pin for you. I want you to wear it. Experience the happiness, the joy, the inspiration that brings to in your life. And after you do it for a week, then without it, you'll feel incomplete. Okay? So when I go out sometime and I do not have my lapel pin or something, I don't feel good about it. So it's something, if you feel something about it, wear it. If you don't, if you feel happy without it, do it. So it's your wish. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We had a lovely, insightful conversation about our national flag, and thank you for imparting to us such important information about our national flag. And Jai Hind to all.
You take one, then I'll.
Looking forward to the movie, sir.
Yes.
And the best dialogue is already on the title.
Okay, thank you. See you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.